Okay, we have a Singer 7108 here. This is a made in Italy machine. It is similar to that 6136, and it's got the all plastic tensioner. This was given to me as a mystery machine with unknown problems from the refugee group, so I don't know anything about it. But the first thing I checked was the tensioner, and it's got the release bar busted out of the center of this plastic piece. So the tensioner isn't releasing. I popped this off. You just have to yank this off to get in there to get that piece out. So that's in my pile of things to get parts for. But then I was turning the machine, and you'll see the hook wasn't moving when I turned the thing. So I took the bottom off real quick to look, because that 6136 had gears on the bottom. But as you can see, this has a belt, and this belt is in perfectly good shape for this machine. So I am going to have to pop the top off to look and see what, because clearly the gears on top are not driving properly. So, alright, so this machine has a pair of screws on top that appear to hold the lid on. It's also got a door in it for some pattern discs. But the lid pops straight off, no hooks there. This has the same friction drive bobbin winder that the other machine had, and oh yeah, well, buried down in here is the drive gear for the bobbin hook, and that gear is completely sheared down in there. It's a plastic gear driven by a metal gear right here. Let's see. Oh, you can put two different gear selections in here. Interesting. Well, since I'm already this far in, I'm gonna pop this. Oh, I'm gonna try popping this drive off here and see if that'll let us see further in to get at that top gear. But I don't know if this machine is going to be salvageable, just because the gear for driving that is so far in, buried down in there, that getting it out is going to be a real pain, I think. Okay, I did a little bit of looking from the top on this 7108, and the gear is up under there. So I'm going to take this front panel off and see if we can see in from the front here. So first step was take the end cover off that has the lamp, and is there a lamp in this machine? I don't think this machine has a lamp. But this end cover comes off. There's one screw in the end of the end cover. The top cover covered two screws right here. And then the dial here has to be popped off, and I did that the way I usually do, which is the dial is on here, and I work a rag or a piece of fabric in behind it. I get it all the way out and then pull it up, and it pops right off. I took the reverse button out so that I could see on the inside here and make sure that it really was a pop-off button and it didn't have any fasteners behind it, but it pops off just like that 6136 did. And now I've got to take the end off so that the front might be a little looser, and I got to check underneath it for any extra screws that might be holding the front on. And I'm just trying to see how we might access that gear that's stripped, because again, if we can't get at that gear very easily, then it's not going to be worth replacing this. Aha, there's a screw here holding the front and back covers on. And then I think, look, well, oh. The tensioner goes through that front panel. So I need to get a long screwdriver to pop the tensioner off, and then it's got a screw behind the front. Okay, reached down and got the set screw, so the tensioner popped off the front here, and then there is a tiny screw that was hiding under the tensioner that should be the last thing holding this front on the machine. Okay. Now, there we go. Alright. I thought I wouldn't have to do this, but I think I'm going to have to pop this plastic apron off to make it easier. So there's a plastic trim apron around the bottom of the machine that's got 4 screws in it, and that stands up around the edges of the front and the rear cover of the machine just enough to hold it back in place. And we're going to open this up and look, and if we can get at the set screw for that drive gear without ripping the top half of the machine apart, then we should be able to just take this belt off and slip the whole shaft down out the bottom of the machine a little, slide the shaft down, get a new gear in, and then slide the shaft back up into the gear. So, oh, that goes all the way around. I don't know why I looked at that like that and thought it was going to be a bigger problem. But with it wobbling around, we can get... is there a secret screw? I guess maybe we'll take the back cover off this machine and see if that lets the front cover come off. I peered around very carefully. And thought that the front side would be the easier to look and see if we've got access to that gear, but Okay. Alright, this is definitely loose. Yep, and just comes right off. Alright, with that cover out of the way, the gear we want is right behind there, so of course it's not going to come out. Let's see. But taking the back off did make this front much looser. And okay. Well, that made the front come out. So you can see this here just goes through a blind water or a blind nut on the back. So okay. And there is no, unfortunately, there's no good access because we want to be right there. Here in here. Yeah, no, all of that is, unless yeah, I'll have to give some thought to that. Because there's no good access into that gear that's stripped out under there. So we'll give that some thought and then decide whether we're fixing this or not. Okay, as you can see, I removed the cam stack driver, and if you look down in here, that gear is all chewed up, and that is a press fit rubber gear, plastic gear of some kind, and it's just all gooed out in there. I'm going to look and see if the replacement gear screws on, because I do have a passage, you can see me stick my screwdriver up in through here, that if there's a replacement gear, I can probably, with a hammer and punch this shaft down, just bust that gear off of there, get the garbage out, and get that shaft to drop down, and then slip a new gear on. But I'll have to see if they made a replacement like that. But as near as I can tell, that is a pushed on plastic gear.